on the edge of a quiet village, far from the city lights and busy streets. There lived a gentle girl named Lina. She wasn't loud or fast or curious like other children. Lina liked soft things, fluffy pillows, warm milk, and quiet books with pages that smelled like dreams. Every night before bed, she would open her small window, close her eyes, and listen to the wind. It wasn't an ordinary wind, you see. It whispered things, tiny, faraway things, like lullabies from another world. Sometimes, the wind would tell her there's more than you see, just beyond the trees. Lina would smile and whisper back, maybe one day I'll go. One evening, as the stars blinked slowly awake and the moon rose like a pearl in the sky, Lina felt something different. The wind was stronger, cooler, yet calm. It rustled the curtains like a soft invitation. Then it carried a sound, a voice, like a song with no words. She stepped out into the garden in her slippers. The grass felt cool, like it had been kissed by clouds. She followed the breeze past the sunflowers, now folded in sleep, past the old stone bench where her cat used to nap. Then she saw it, a shimmer in the air, a silver glow near the edge of her garden where the trees began. There, hidden beneath the lilac bush, was something she'd never noticed before, a small wooden door. It wasn't part of any wall. It stood by itself, upright, like someone had gently placed it there. Lina tilted her head. The door had carvings, not words, but symbols, stars, leaves, and a gentle spiral like a moon's curl. And at the center, a small brass handle, shaped like a curled sleeping fox. The wind sang again, and Lina, calm as moonlight, reached out and opened the door. ... The door creaked open without a sound, as if it had been waiting for Lina all along. Beyond, it was not the other side of the bush, but something else entirely. It was a path glowing faintly with soft, silvery moss. It stretched ahead like a ribbon made of moonlight, curving gently through trees Lina had never seen before. Their leaves shimmered with blue and lavender hues, swaying even though the air was still. She stepped through the door, and the moment she did, she felt lighter, like her worries, her thoughts, even the weight of her eyelids had softened. The air smelled of lavender and old sleepy books. Everything was slow, calm, dreamlike. The door behind her faded, not with fear or finality, but with peace, like a dream changing shape. Lina followed the path. Each step felt like floating on soft clouds. Above her, the sky was deep, violet, dotted with sleepy stars. A soft hum filled the air, as if the earth was breathing. Slow, steady, safe. She passed a tree with hanging bells that rang with no wind. She passed stones that glowed warm when she walked near. Then, just ahead, she saw a sign, handwritten in glowing ink, to the Garden of Dreams. Quiet feet, welcome. She giggled softly. I have the quietest feet, she whispered. The path widened now, and tiny light, like fireflies, but slower, gentler, rose from the ground and hovered beside her. They didn't buzz. They shimmered, like they were yawning mid-air. Suddenly, beside her, a voice said kindly, "You're early." Lina turned, and there stood a small animal, not quite a fox, not quite a cat. Its fur was moon gray, its eyes soft and golden. I didn't know I was expected, Lina said, more curious than surprised. Everyone is, eventually, said the creature, but few find the door. What is this place? This is the space between dreams and waking, where the night tucks in its thoughts. Lina smiled. That made sense, somehow. Together, they walked. The moon, above, dipped a little lower, as if listening. The fireflies followed, trailing soft sparkles in their wake. Trees opened gently, like curtains, revealing something up ahead. A gate made of silver vines, slowly swaying like breathing. And behind the gate was the Garden of Dreams. Lina and the moon-gray creature stood before the silver gate, watching it sway gently in the quiet night. It looked delicate, yet timeless, made not of metal, but something softer, ... like frozen moonbeams shaped into vines. The little creature tapped the gate twice with its tail. A soft chime echoed, low and warm. The vines parted slowly, curling back like sleepy fingers. And beyond them was the most beautiful place Lina had ever seen. It wasn't loud with colors or crowded with strange things. It was ... peaceful. Everything moved gently, as if the garden was dreaming. There were trees with glowing fruit, shaped like stars and moons. There were flowers that opened and closed in rhythm with the wind, their petals humming lullabies. Tiny floating lanterns drifted overhead, and when Lina looked closely, she saw they carried dreams inside them, little pictures. Like memories wrapped in clouds, the creature spoke. This is where dreams are grown. Before people close their eyes, they come here, in whispers and wishes. Lina walked further, in her slippers, silent on the soft moss. She passed a row of stones, each with a name carved in glowing letters, gentle names like hope, peace, and stillness. A flower shaped like a teacup leaned toward her. From it rose steam scented like warm vanilla and morning rain. It made her yawn, not out of boredom, but from something deep a kind of safety. She noticed a soft path winding deeper into the garden. The creature nodded. That's the dream trail. It changes for each person. Lina followed. She saw a small bridge with silver ropes, and beneath it flowed not water, but starlight, slowly drifting like a river of melted constellations. Across the bridge was a bench made of woven feathers, under a weeping willow that sang when the wind passed. Through its branches, Lina sat, and the garden sang to her. It wasn't a song made of words. It was a feeling, like remembering something beautiful you'd never really seen. It flowed over her like a blanket. "Will I wake up?" she asked quietly. "Not yet," said the creature. "Dreams take their time." Lina closed her eyes, not because she was tired, but because everything felt so still, so gentle. She listened to the soft garden breathing, to the flowers humming, to the moon glowing above. Like an old friend, and for a little while, or maybe forever, she simply rested. Lina sat beneath the singing willow for what felt like no time at all, and yet the stars had shifted ever so slightly above her. The garden didn't measure time the way the world did. Here, moments flowed like dreams, soft, round, and endless. The moon-gray creature, still beside her, rose on its small paws. "Would you like to see the memory tree?" it asked gently. Lina nodded, her eyes soft with wonder. They followed a path that wasn't there before, one lined with floating feathers and tiny glowing moths that danced like whispers. The air smelled faintly of cinnamon and distant campfires, a warm kind of memory. At the center of the garden stood a tall, shimmering tree. Its bark looked like woven silk, and its branches curved upward like arms in a slow stretch. But the leaves, oh, the leaves, they weren't green at all. Each leaf was a tiny floating memory. Some shimmered like laughter, some flickered like candlelight, others glowed blue, the color of forgotten lullabies. "This," said the creature softly, "is where dreams leave their stories behind. The good ones, the quiet ones, the ones that make hearts sigh." Lina stepped closer. The tree hummed low. Not a sound, really, but a feeling. She reached out, and one of the glowing leaves gently floated down and rested in her palm. It pulsed, once like a heartbeat, and then, slowly, it opened like a flower, and Lina saw a picture inside. A little boy in red pajamas, curled up with a toy elephant, a starry ceiling glowing above him, and his mother, sitting beside his bed, reading from a worn book, her voice steady, soft. Then the leaf closed and floated away. Lina whispered, "That was someone's dream." The creature nodded. Or a memory they turned into one. Another leaf floated by this one, humming gently, glowing a pale gold. It fluttered near Lina's cheek and whispered, "You are safe. You are soft. Let go." She let it pass, her heart full, but light. Around her, more leaves floated by, some telling stories, some just playing soft music. One drifted to the creature, and it smiled without opening it. "I've already dreamed this one," it said. They sat for a while beneath the memory tree, the sky above, spinning ever so slowly. Not a single thing rushed. The ground was warm, the air soft, the silence full. Lina felt her thoughts beginning to fade, like petals falling in slow motion. "Why does this place feel like a hug?" she asked, eyes growing heavy. The creature curled its tail around itself and replied, "Because it remembers you, even when you don't remember it." And just like that, Lina smiled and rested her head on the soft moss. Beneath the glowing tree that held dreams like stars in its branches. She didn't sleep, she simply drifted. When Lina opened her eyes again, if she had ever truly closed them, the stars above had shifted to a deeper shade of blue. The kind of blue that came just before dawn, but still far from morning. The memory tree glowed softly behind her, its stories still floating gently in the air, like fireflies with secrets. The moon-gray creature stood beside her, watching quietly. It didn't speak until Lina stretched and looked up at the sky with a quiet sigh. "Would you like to cross the bridge of forgetting?" it asked. Lina tilted her head, unsure. "What do you forget there?" The creature blinked slowly. "Only what's too heavy to carry into dreams." Something about that made her feel lighter. "Yes," she whispered. "I'd like that." They walked again, not fast, not slow, but in a rhythm that matched the gentle pulse of the world around them. The path led downward, softly sloping through fields of tall, silver grass. The blades brushed against her legs like soft fingers, humming in low tones that calmed her breath in the distance. A quiet river shimmered, but it wasn't made of water. It flowed like melted glass, glowing softly with colors that changed as you watched them. Not bright colors, sleepy ones, faded lavender, faint blue, cloud gray, dream-yellow. And across that river was the bridge. It arched high and curved, like a crescent moon turned sideways. It was made from woven threads of starlight, not stone, not wood. It glowed gently, and the air around it felt cool like early morning. As Lina stepped onto the bridge, she felt something curious, not a fear, not a loss, just quiet. The kind of quiet you feel after you've cried and the sky clears, or when you forget what you were worried about. because the birds are singing. Each step she took felt like a breath. Each step let go of something small. A sigh she hadn't noticed she'd been holding. A word someone once said that had stayed in her pocket. Too long, an old memory of a time she didn't smile. They slipped away, not erased, just released. The river below whispered, "You don't need to carry everything. Rest is remembering who you are beneath the noise." By the time she reached the other side, Lina felt lighter than air. Not because she had forgotten everything, but because she had remembered what truly mattered. The creature smiled. "You're almost ready for the dreaming tree," it said. Lina nodded, her heart as soft as a pillow. She didn't know what the dreaming tree was, but something inside her trusted it like a lullaby she hadn't heard in years, but still knew by heart. And as the moon watched from above, and the stars swayed to some secret rhythm, Lina followed the path forward once again. The air changed as Lina followed the winding path. It was softer now, warmer, like breath on a cool window. A low mist hovered over the mossy ground, glowing faintly, as if carrying 100 whispered lullabies. The moon above was lower now, casting longer shadows that didn't feel scary at all. They stretched slowly like yawns, curling across the earth. The moon-gray creature walked beside Lina in silence. Words weren't needed anymore. Everything felt understood without speaking, like how a soft blanket knows just where to rest on your shoulders. Then, in the distance, Lina saw it. A tall tree, taller than any she had ever seen, standing at the center of a wide, quiet clearing. Its trunk was wide and smooth, glowing softly like candlelight behind silk. Its branches arched high above, forming a great dome, and hanging from them were countless soft lights, not leaves, not lanterns, but dreams. Each one glowed gently. Some sparkled like snow falling. Others pulsed like a heartbeat at rest. Some flickered like fireflies caught in a memory. This was the dreaming tree. The creature spoke for the first time in a while. This is where dreams are born before they float into the world. Lina stepped forward, slower now. The moss beneath her feet was warm and plush. Like walking on clouds, the dreaming tree hummed, not with sound, but with feeling. It was the hum of stories that hadn't been told yet, of songs yet to be sung, of good nights that hadn't arrived, but would. She stood beneath its vast branches, arms loose at her sides. Above her, the light swayed gently, like stars breathing. One light drifted downward, slow and gentle. It hovered in front of her chest, a soft, golden orb, no bigger than a dandelion puff. It waited, the creature whispered. breathe into it, and let it become yours. So Lina closed her eyes and breathed. The orb soaked in her breath, her softness, her hopes, her quiet heart, and then it glowed brighter, warmer. Then it floated upward and joined the others, finding its place on a branch above, like it had always belonged there. Your dream will visit someone who needs it, the creature said. Someone whose heart is tired, whose mind is full. You gave them a gift tonight. Lina smiled, her eyes misty and full of stars. She sat beneath the dreaming tree, its branches swaying above her, the light spinning gently like a galaxy in slow motion. She felt no weight, no noise, no rush, just peace. And far off, the moon dipped a little lower, a silent nod. Time did not pass in the garden the way it did in the waking world. Lina could have been sitting under the dreaming tree for minutes or hours, or the space between two blinks. Here, time was soft. Like the rest of the world, the moon-gray creature looked up at the glowing dreamlights overhead, then turned to Lina. "It's almost time," it said softly. "Time for what?" she asked, brushing her fingers along the moss. "For the dream to rest, too." Lina nodded. A part of her felt ready. Another part wanted to stay. But the garden understood both feelings, and neither was rushed. They walked slowly back through the soft paths of the dream, past the memory tree, still glowing gently, past the river of starlight, where the bridge of forgetting arched like a sleepy sigh, and all around them the garden whispered its soft goodbyes, not with words, but with feelings. You are always welcome. You are made of light and hush. You leave a little softer than you came. As they reached the lilac bush where it all began, the small wooden door reappeared, just as Lina had first seen it. The same gentle spiral, the same brass handle shaped like a sleeping fox. It stood, waiting, calm, still. The creature sat beside it, curling its tail around its paws. Its golden eyes blinked slowly. "You'll forget some of this when you wake," it said. Lina felt her heart tug. "But not all," it added. "Not the important parts. Not the part that knows how to rest." She reached out and hugged the creature. Its fur was warm, like soft light and old lullabies. "Will I come back, okay?" she asked. The creature smiled, not with its mouth, but with its whole presence. "Every time you close your eyes and breathe." Lina took one last look at the garden behind her, its trees still swaying, its stars still glowing. And then she opened the door. The wind met her like a kiss on the cheek, gentle, cool, familiar, and with one soft step, she was home. Lina didn't wake with a start. There was no alarm, no noise, just a soft warmth behind her eyes, like sunlight filtered through clouds. She was still. Her body rested in her bed, the blankets gently tucked around her like moss beneath the stars. She opened her eyes only halfway. The world was quiet. Not silent, just slow. Outside the window, the night hadn't ended. The moon still hung in the sky, cradled by stars. For a moment, a long, kind moment, Lina lay there, floating between sleep and waking. That soft space where dreams leave behind a glow, even when their pictures begin to fade. She tried to remember the garden, the flowers that sang, the starlight river, the dream she breathed into the glowing orb. It was all there, not clearly, not like a book or a photograph, but like a feeling, a hush, a warmth deep in her chest. She smiled. Somewhere, the moon-gray creature might still be watching. Somewhere, a dream was sailing softly through the sky, carrying her light to someone else who needed it. And somewhere inside her, a door remained still, waiting, still open, a place where peace lived and time slept, and the stars whispered like old friends. Lina exhaled slowly, not because she had to, but because it felt good. Like releasing the last bit of worry into the air. Her breath was steady, her body light, her heart quiet. And before she even knew it, she drifted again, back into sleep.